Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this center flap card using this fun masking technique to create a multiple layered look with ink. This card opens to share a little sentiment and will stand for display. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. I've got my grid paper here because I want to start with a nice clean area for my blending brush so I don't pick up other colors. Okay, I'm going to start this project by taking my sticky note and placing it upside down. I've cut this out with my die that is mountain shaped, and I am going to pick up some ink, take a little of the excess off, and simply follow my line here. I'm not going to go all the way over to the edge, and I'm going to bring that little hint of color down. This reminds me of the red rock of Arizona, and since I am making this for my aunt who loves to hike, I thought this would be perfect for her. I'm going to pick this up, and let's see, I'm going to angle this a little bit more and add some stronger color here. And then I'm going to bring this down in this area and do this edge. Now I've turned this mask different ways so that the rock looks random and the color starts building on each other. Okay, so I have that gone, and then I can flip this over. Let's see, I'm going to add a little more color to this first. Flip it over for a different look. Pick up some more color and add a nice bold rock right here in the foreground. Do the same thing here. Need a little more color and just kind of blending as I go. So there we go. I've got this beautiful look, and I'm going to bring in my clouds with my balmy blue. So I'm going to set 3 clouds here where I would like them. Let's see, I'm going to put one here, and then I think I'll put one here. These are also cut from Post-it notes using that die, and I'm going to make sure I have a nice quality blue, and I haven't picked up any other color, and I'm going to start around the biggest cloud here and simply add some color. And I'm going to blend that color throughout the sky, softening it as I go. And at this point, you may want to fold this. You can get the edge also without getting it on the back. And bring it down to that mountaintop or the red rocks. And just kind of randomly leaving some white space. I've got that finished, and I'm going to pull off my masks for these beautiful white puffy clouds in the sky. And I'm ready to use my trimmer now to create the center flap. Okay, I've got my trimmer, and I'm going to turn my card front upside down. I've got my cutting blade at the top here, and I'm going to place the right hand side on the 1 1/4 inch mark. Let me close this, and you'll see here's 1 inch, and 1 1/4 is this next longest line. And we're going to place that down, butt it against the top edge, and then I'm looking for the little groove on the side of my blade here, and I'm going to run it all the way down to the 4 1/4 inch mark. Now I've taken a piece of tear and tape and put it on the back side of this ruler, so my numbers are real easy to see. That's just a little tip. I've got that one done, and I'm going to slide the left side to the 1 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to bring that blade back up and slide it down to the 4 1/4 inch mark again. There we go. If I've done that correctly, I should be right up to that score line and have 3 flaps. So at this point, if I'd like to, I can do a little bit of color variation here on the inside just to add some interest and continue those rocks if I choose to. That's up to you. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm simply going to start assembling. Okay, to assemble, I'm going to simply take these 2 outer flaps, add some adhesive to them, and fold them close. Now I'm leaving this center flap down so that I can get this nice straight edge, lining them up, and it won't wiggle right or left. And I'm going to do that same thing on the left side here. Closing it, lining it up. There we go. Okay, I've got the center flap now, and I'm ready to do some stamping. So I'm going to open my card up and take my adventure sentiment. I'm going to ink this up with my basic gray, and I am going to stamp this right here in the middle of my flap on the inside. There we go. And I'm going to close this and bring in my little hiker. Now this little hiker is holding a lantern, but there is also this little hiking stick that you can use. And so I am going to trim this lantern off with my paper snips. And I'm simply going to snip this ring and the little part of the ring down here. And I'm going to decide where I want my little hiker to go. Okay, I brought my grid paper in so you can see this a little easier. I've cut the lantern off and I've got my hiker. Now the hiker normally faces this way according to the die, but I want to put him over here. So I'm going to add a little adhesive to the top of the die, cut shape and flip it over. So I'm using the back actually. And let's see, I want to put him, I think right about here. And then I've run this little walking stick die through with an adhesive sheet on the back of the cardstock so that it's really easy to peel off and use this delicate little walking stick. Since it's so fine, I thought this would be easier. And I'm going to be adding it to my little guy and then simply placing it down. So I've got this one layered card that's just lovely and looks like it's multiple layers with my little hiker and this wonderful little sentiment wishing her the best on her next adventure. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this masking technique and our blending brushes, creating this fun center flap card. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.